You all know my first guest from the films The English Patient and The Last Temptation of Christ. And just recently, he was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for his role in Shadow of the Vampire. Let's take a look.
You will stay away from my crew. I will finish my picture.
This is hardly your picture any longer.
Yeah.
That's how I looked in high school. Please welcome Willem Dafoe. Thanks for being here.
Sure, my pleasure.
There's lights exploding occasionally tonight. So just during the commercial break, I got all the glass off my desk. How are you?
Good.
This movie, is this a very neat idea for a movie?
It's a great conceit, yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. They're filming a vampire movie in the turn of the century, early teens,
It's
I'm
based
guessing.
on a film called Nosferatu, the making of a classic film called Nosferatu.
Right.
And the director is such a perfectionist that he hires a real vampire to play the vampire and passes him off as a method actor.
Right. It's a very cool idea, and he promises him to get through the whole movie, you can
Get the girl.
You can actually have the girl,
Right.
and then he starts to lose control, which is a really neat idea. People are loving this movie too.
Yeah, yeah, I'm happy people are responding to
the
it.
makeup. What's the story behind the makeup? How long does that take?
Yeah, about 4 hours, and it's a whole drag. I mean, it's not just makeup. It's 3 hours in a makeup chair to get in and 1 hour to get out, and then I also had all these other things, like I had a little corset on, and
I wear a corset during the show. Keeps my figure
and
trim.
the fingernails.
Yeah, so the fingernails, and those probably don't come off too easily.
No, once they were on in the morning, they were on all day, and well, it created some problems.
Please tell us one.
Well, actually, there were one and then two.
Right. Yeah.
I really needed an understanding, compassionate assistant.
You couldn't pay me enough money. There's not enough money in the world. Could you go in there? Defoe
you
has to
don't
go to the
know me well
bathroom.
enough.
Yeah, I would just think, no, you'd have to work that out on your own. Did you ever wander off the set as the vampire? Because I know the one time that I got to wear a costume for some of the work I did before I got this show, they dressed me up as a policeman for something, and I couldn't help it. I wandered off the set and started telling people, like, move it along, come on now, nothing to see here. It's just fun. Did you wander off the set as a vampire?
You know, sometimes I would forget. I'd get so comfortable in the costume that I'd forget what I was presenting to the outside world. And one day I finished a little early, and I left the set and walked across the street to go to where my trailer was, and I was still in the full vampire drag, and a busload of school children went by. And the only thing that tipped me off something was wrong is they, the looks on their faces.
And you were waving at them. Where was that?
That was shot in Luxembourg.
In Luxembourg, okay.
Because there's lots of castles there.
If you had been in New York City, a school bus would have been like, yeah, check out the vampire. Puff. All right, let's get this bus going. You have such a distinctive face. Were you recognized pretty early in your career? Like the minute you started working, were people saying, "I know you"?
Well,
because you have a different look than most people.
Yeah, I think all my life people recognize me usually.
I mean this in a good way.
Yeah, it is good. It is good. I mean, I remember once when I was taking my son to the Bronx Zoo on the subway, and it's a long ride from downtown, and a couple of homeboys came on the subway, and they were checking us out, and I thought, what's going on? Because they were whispering and looking at me, and I got a little nervous, and then I heard one of them say, "Yeah, that's him, that's him. No one looks like that mother."
Okay, now, you were telling a story. That's what happened to you. It's like
Right.
the actor studio, you know?
Right.
This episode may not air.
Should I not have said that?
No, that's what happened, you know? What do you have big New Year's plans? New Year's coming up? Do you have any?
Lay low.
Lay low? You don't like New Year's?
Well, it's a young man's game.
Really?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah,
I mean,
are you feeling old? You're a young guy. You're feeling old now?
No. Just things change. I mean, I notice it particularly, like with my son. I've got an 18-year-old son. I walk down the street. I see an attractive young lady go by. They're looking at my son, not at me. I'm like somebody's dad now.
Yeah. And that's when you start yelling at your son. You're grounded. What did I do? Oh, you know what you did. So is that your one son?
Right.
Yeah. That's still though, you know. That's.
Actually, I don't feel old.
Yeah, you don't feel old at all.
In my head, I'm still about, 18 years old.
Right. In my head, I'm in my late 50s. My hips are starting to go. It's all in my head, though. You actually, you kind of connived your way. It's interesting. You connived your way into the movie industry. You kind of talked your way through it, didn't you?
Well,
To get that first job.
Yeah, my first big job, they saw me at the theater with the Wooster Group, and they called me up and they said, "Do you want to do this movie?" And I knew nothing about movies, so I called up some friends. I said, yeah, I'll do the movie. I asked them how much I should ask for. I didn't have an agent or anything, and I made negotiations by myself, and then they said, before we signed, can you ride a motorcycle? I said, no problem.
Could you ride a motorcycle?
Never.
You never ridden one?
And then I got to get on the motorcycle in like a couple of days. So I didn't know anyone that had a motorcycle. I'm living in the city. I didn't know what to do, so I went to the library and I rented out a book.
You got a book? That's not the kind of thing I would think that you'd be getting out of a book.
It's pretty pathetic, but I had no time, so I checked it out, checked out the shifting patterns,
Right.
and then they took me out to some place in Connecticut where this 1955, Harley Davidson 1200cc Panhead, beautifully restored, was there, and they say, hop on it.
Right.
And I was like, no, it's okay. You can wait until we shoot. And they said, no, we want to see you on the thing.
Right.
There's not much.
I think I've seen that movie. You play a real young greaser badass who drives around reading a book the whole time. You're always consulting it. Shadow of the Vampire opens in select cities this Friday. It opens wider in January, and congratulations, you just got an LA Film Critics Award for Shadow of a Vampire. So this is great.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Great.
Thanks for coming by.
Yeah.
It's good to have you. Stay right there. Willem Dafoe, everybody. Jennifer Esposito coming up. We'll be right back.